Okay, I'm told that the resident committee has not approved the current constitution. So
okay, so we cannot
use amended,
it as amended. Okay, it's not yet approved, so we cannot refer to it as authoritative yet. But we can always say that there can be problem with the marking system. On what basis are they marking the students or giving them percentage? And are these percentage always fixed, that you should qualify by 50% or 60% for every year, or depends on the year? So the scoring after the screening is also, I think, problematic. People could raise questions about it.
So, looking at this, then, talking of the flexibility of the marks and all this, what would you advise as the best possible criteria for assessing aspirants?
Well, there are two aspects of vetting aspirants. First, you can obtain the material support, any materials concerning their qualification and their performance previously before applying for these positions. That is material. Then you listen to them. Based on these materials, you interview them. That is one aspect. Or you set up a standard by which they should all be tried. That is what they are bringing in as new leaders, or they are going to be just anybody else like in the past. So we have to find out the criteria by which they will be interviewed as a standard. That is the basic thing we have to think about. And I would suggest that we have one question or the same type of question for all aspirants. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm still with Oswald Seneadza, who is a lecturer at the law faculty of this university, explaining to us what screening or vetting is and its implications in respect of elections on the campus of this university. Finally, even before you leave, I'm sure you've been privy to the sort of, call it hassle if you want to, that we've been through in respect of elections, court cases and stuff. What would be advised to the various stakeholders in terms of student leadership?
The KNU UST leadership?
Yeah, student leadership, yeah.
Yeah. I think there is the need for first reviewing and looking at our constitution, the student constitution, to find out the loopholes and make amendments. Then we have to also set committee that will look into the activities of the Electoral Commission and all the other stakeholders so far as student elections are concerned. I think they can solve their problems without necessarily running to the courts, the law courts. That should be the last. In student affairs, any problem they run to the courts to settle it. I think some of these problems can be settled here amicably without resorting to the courts for redress. Some of the issues can be looked at by the students themselves, by the committees you have set up. Once you have confidence in them, I think they should be able to handle some of your problems.
I may have to ask one last question. Now, there are issues where people qualify by the basis of the fact that they are privy to the rules, or they've gone in accordance with the rules of the elections. Yeah. And in situations where, after all these things, vetting declares them ineligible. Is it possible? Or is it fair?
It is not fair, because once the people have qualified, then a law must be made to limit the number of people who will even be vetted. But once the people have been vetted, if it's 50, 60, then they are declared as, they have been clean. Then they must be allowed to contest.
So not vetting. There are procedures in the SRC Constitution that defines qualification.
Qualification.
Or grounds for
They've got
disqualification.
all the qualification.
Yeah. And then in situations where you have vetting, declaring someone who has been through the whole process successfully ineligible. How fair would that be? I mean, removing someone from the race on the basis of not being able to answer a question during vetting.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. It depends on what you need as an extra screening to declare somebody more qualified than another person. We don't know why the institution had made it special that there should be a screening again after they have qualified by what you have stated. Once the qualifications have been stated clearly and they inspect and find out that you have qualified by those criteria, then another vetting is only trying to limit the number of people who might have qualified, and that is a different issue. Then it might be injustice to those who will not have the chance to stand, though they have qualified by the standard set.
Okay.
So bringing another vetting really makes their chances not equal to those who have the chance of standing the election. That is where the problem of inequality comes in.
Okay, so you think that if I'm getting correctly, you think that if there are processes for qualifying people, then there shouldn't be a top-up of vetting? You shouldn't top that up with vetting.
Unless that is determined by your own law, the master law, that this is the objective, this is what you want to achieve. So after you have qualified, there will be another screening, but we have to know why that screening is necessary again after the person has qualified. In the absence of that, then it might be limiting the rights of others who have also qualified. That's how I see it.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyway, that should be all. Also, Seneadza is a lecturer at the law faculty of this university. Thank you very much, sir, for honoring our invitation. Okay, it is 15 minutes to 8. You're still live on Community Watch on Focus 94.3. That was also Seneadza talking to us about vetting and its legal implications as far as the SRC general elections are concerned on the campus of this university.